Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? This episode wraps up season 2 of Beastars as we wait for season 3, which I assume will come in a year and a half, 2 years' time. What a finale! I mean, Riz versus Legoshi round 2 with Louis losing a foot, Legoshi tasting his first and last bit of meat as we get punishment for both Legoshi and Riz for obviously consuming meat, having criminal records, announcing he's gonna drop out of a school while he's trying to keep Haru, his girlfriend, happy as she's like, I'm gonna get a real boyfriend who doesn't just keep doing random shit not telling me. This episode was a wild ride, and usually I don't take a look at what people have been saying about an episode before I record my thoughts. I usually just come up here, I say what I want to say, and it's kind of like a roulette. Do people massively agree with me or people massively disagree with me? But I looked up this one just because I had a bit more time just based on how the anime season's a little ending, so I don't have to rush to get videos out as much. It seems split from my assumption. Some people wanting more chaos and less talking, not really happy with some of the resolutions. Other people falling in the, no, this hit my boxes, I'm happy. Personally, for me, I was satisfied. I've already seen all-out chaos between these two. If anything, I want to see more dialogue. I want to learn what is going on in this man's head. Legoshi's always been kind of an idiot, and his idiocy has actually saved him more times than I can count. As silly as it may seem on paper, when this boy is about to hit death's doorstep, and he's just like, wait, you want to talk to me about your feelings? Let me just get comfy, as he relaxes as his body is basically like, dying and is in agony. And Riz is just like, you know what, might as well, I'm gonna kill you anyway, I feel good to get this off my chest. And the fact that he actually admits that he knows it's bullshit and that he knows that it was murder, I think is what I wanted to see personally. I wanted to see that conversation, I wanted to see is there any remorse. And personally, he's just of the belief that this is what carnivores do. We have fangs, we have claws, we hurt people. That's what we're going to do. It's the unfortunate truth. And Legoshi has a different opinion, that he uses those to protect. And I think the clashing of ideas was very interesting because we do get a fight that's very similar to that in the bathroom where they're tossing around, they're biting, it looks really good, and then it goes to dialogue before the ultimate retreat. We learn that penis fight, it was just a way to provoke. And that's not completely shocking. I mean, there's obviously, until you see a body, you don't know what happens. But it was interesting to see the retreat and with Louis there, because Louis is a character who has probably been the most interesting character to follow in Season 2, from basically being someone who used to be caged in, leader of a gang, to now wanting his friend to eat his foot. There's a lot of reasons why I really like the scene between Louis and Legoshi, because for someone like Legoshi, he would die without eating meat. There's no way to defeat Riz without having that strength. He was doing some pretty cool things with his kind of like new insect abilities, which really wasn't abilities, it was just him really a lot more stronger. Riz mentions that he can't even chew through his meat anymore. And the fact that they do this like really symbolic, like almost like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, he's so powerful that he can jump so high, Riz is caught off guard, it looks like butterflies coming towards him, and it was really cool. I love how they visualized him getting stronger without actually summoning butterflies to attack him. It was a great touch on the anime medium's part, but there's no way for him to beat him if that wasn't enough. And I like the idea that it was this mutual agreement that, someone like Louis, he needs to stop being caged in. He needs to embrace who he is, and while having his foot would make life a lot easier, at the same time, that stamp, that mark has held him down so long, and there's only one way for his friend to win, and that's to eat meat. And I love how, when you finally see his form, it's such a weird thought to think that's what Legoshi would have been had he ate Haru in episode 1 of season 1. And that would have changed everything. He would have been Riz. Legoshi, one of his biggest reasons for wanting to stop Riz without just simply turning him over to the cops was he wants to break him out of that thought process because he sees that could have easily been him and he wants to know that he can protect those around him. And I love how when he comes back, I mean, it's quick, it's brutal, but honestly, at that point, seeing the big bad wolf, Legoshi has been someone who's been able to go toe-to-toe with kangaroos without even trying. This man is ridiculously strong. Give him a foot from his friend, that man's probably unbeatable. And I love how they ended it with, for me anyway, the satisfying payoff of Riz accepting that he was delusional, him knowing that he messed up, but most importantly seeing how wrong he was. That Legoshi was able to have this true connection with a herbivore despite being a carnivore, and unlike him with Tem, they're still friends, if not better friends because of it. Obviously, the viewers know that the foot's a lot more symbolic of why he gave it up because of the marking and everything. But still, it feels like because the authorities were involved, because, everyone technically got punished, I quite like that about this episode. And especially just considering seeing how, just it wraps up in, I would say, a pretty nice package. There's still so much left to tell, but it feels like that's kind of what I wanted to see personally. Obviously, I could see why people might want other things to happen. Maybe they want Riz to die. Maybe they want Riz to just remain to be a psycho, chaos-induced person. But for me, it feels like, it's always been an act, and if it wasn't, then, there's no way that he could live. But the fact that, he does accept it, but just believes there's no other option, and then he sees the other option before his eyes, I think that's quite satisfying myself. And the Ibiki situation, I assumed it wasn't going to be Louis getting shot, but I was still 50% uncertain. It was one of those things I'm logically, probably going to be Louis shooting, right? But then again, it could be Ibiki. Ibiki was a man who, that relationship I loved, one of the standouts of Season 2 for me. Louis' entire arc has been a standout, obviously, but a character who made a promise with another line saying, if I ever try to eat the boss, shoot me and kill me. Didn't even cross my mind. I thought it was Louis freaking out and shooting, then realizing who it was and, never come back to the black market, otherwise his death would have been for nothing. It's so interesting to see that just feel like the death actually served a purpose. And as much as I loved Ibiki, I'm glad he went out in the way he did as a way to let the boss be free. And it was so great just to see all the little moments take place. I know some people have complained who know of the source material, pacing and things like that. For me, as an anime only, I've been really satisfied with the pacing. I can see where things could be extended, but I don't believe this is all the Beastars will ever get. It's massively profitable by the looks of it. Studio Orange clearly likes it. And we're going to get a Season 3, and I have a feeling we're going to see the full adaptation happen in the anime medium. So, for me, it just kind of hit all the notes I wanted to see. The only thing that was disappointing initially was the initial retreat. I was like, oh, so the fights just kind of leave off there, the cops are going to get called? When the foot got introduced, I was like, okay, take it all back, that's exactly what I want to see. I thought the production was good, even though there wasn't as much action as the first fight. I think given what this fight needed to be, I preferred having dialogue over it, and I like the comedic relief of characters like Legoshi just relaxing and Riz just laughing that he's an idiot because he is an idiot wolf, and that him being such an idiot has saved him more times than I can count in this show. It's gonna be sad not having Beastars to look forward to every week, but if we can get another season like this where the animation continues to get propelled forward, showing what 3D animation can look like, especially in the world of Beastars, get the next arc. I do know a lot of people say this is the peak of the manga, but still, I want to see more Beastars. I want to see the full thing, and honestly, this left me satisfied. Would I change much? I don't know. If we had an extra episode, maybe we could have seen a bit more of the aftermath. But as long as we get a Season 3, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with how Episode 12 ended, with the couple of minutes of epilogue after the fight and the police got involved. But I guess time will tell to see where the story's going to go from here. Favorite moment is definitely Big Bad Wolf coming in and just seeing it. Our boy was thanking our other boy for the meal, and he's like, you gotta wipe the blood off your face before you say shit like that. You look like a serial killer. The show definitely has humor that I'm gonna miss, but I guess we'll see where it goes afterwards. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, and definitely your favorite moment of either this episode or the entirety of Season 2 if you want to let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share, support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.